So as we know, there's a lot of crazy political stuff happening around the world these days. One of those things is Donald Trump's tariffs on certain countries. And you have to ask yourself, will this affect video games? Will the cost of prices go up? Will manufacturing these games go up? And how will that make a change in just consumer habits with gaming? And one of the things that these tariffs could threaten is the future of physical video games. Now, I know right away, a lot of you are sitting there thinking, well, it doesn't matter because nobody buys physical games anymore. So who cares? But there are still plenty of people that buy physical games, people that still collect collector's editions of certain games. For example, even just yesterday, we saw the announcement of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 collector's edition with an actual skateboard in it and stuff. So there is still a market for this. And if that's affected in any way, we could be pushed even further and faster to a completely digital era of video games, which for me personally would make me sad because I still do enjoy buying my games physically, or at least some of them physically. I like my collector's editions, and I pick up games that I really love and I'm looking forward to so that I can keep in my collection in the physical format. We have this article here from Video Game Chronicle saying Trump's tariffs threaten the future of physical video games, analyst warns. And he's put tariffs, 25% tariffs on goods that have been imported from Mexico and Canada, and has announced a further 10% tariff on goods from China. And that's on top of the previously announced 10% tariffs. So we have Circana analyst Matt Piscatella, who does a great job with giving numbers, with data and facts to back up claims that we see across the video games industry. We see a lot of claims. We see things about exclusives. We see things about people saying Xbox is dead and dying, all of this type of stuff. But the reality is a lot of people just say those things. They don't actually back it up with any data to support those claims. Matt Piscatella is one of those guys that you can go to and look for numbers and statistics to back up the claims that are made. And here he is talking about specifically what effects that the tariffs could have on physical games. He puts this out. Very small piece of all of this, but it wouldn't surprise me to see physical games that would be subject to tariffs simply not get made, with publishers moving to an all-digital strategy. What a mess. And this is in response to Daniel Ahmad, who tweeted this out. 20% China tariffs impacts video game consoles, smartphones, GPUs, laptops, etc. And that's another thing, right? Like even with the recent release of GPUs, there's going to be a major impact on those because of these tariffs. The production of consoles that are not made in the United States, those are going to have a major impact because of the tariffs. And then physical video games, he says, number 2 here, 25% tariff on Mexico impacts physical video games. China is where most hardware continues to be manufactured. Same for Mexico with discs. Despite mitigation efforts, the US gamers may end up paying more, and they absolutely will end up paying more with these tariffs. And you see the arguments online, right? People are thinking, well, this will bring more production to the United States. That may be so in many years from now. This isn't going to happen with the snap of fingers. Even going into the next generation, those things aren't going to be produced in the United States. The next consoles are going to not be produced in the United States. So depending on how long these tariffs last, I have a prediction they're not going to last very long, but let's say they do last long, there could be major effects here on the already expensive and increasing prices of consoles, GPUs, video games, all of that stuff. And it is just kind of not a good thing at the end of the day for gamers. Now, the ESA, they shared a statement with VGC about the potential tariffs. This was back in February, and this is what they said. Video games are one of the most popular and beloved forms of entertainment for all Americans of all ages, and tariffs on video game devices and related products would negatively affect and impact hundreds of millions of Americans and would harm the industry's significant contributions to the U.S. economy. We look forward to working with the administration and Congress to find ways to sustain the economic growth supported by our sector. So you have to ask yourself, what is going to happen if these tariffs do stay on, with a new Xbox handheld coming out, with PC handhelds breaking into the market, with maybe a Steam Deck 2 down the line. There's information that they're also working on a new VR headset. Like, there's so many things in development here. How will this all be affected by these tariffs? I don't think in a good way, but I do have my fingers crossed that this isn't going to last very long. So I'll leave the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.